What is up, guys? Welcome to Diggity, a video game podcast, episode number 273. I'm Jeff James. With me, as always, the incredible, unobtainable, luscious Brody Faults, a tired but fed Brody Faults.
I was gonna say, if you asked me how I was just gonna say tired. It's been a week, my guy. Yeah, a week indeed.
It's been a week indeed, man. Anyways, if this is your first time listening to the podcast, welcome. We appreciate you being here. If you're returning, also welcome. My God, you made it through our nonsense last week or the weeks before that, so you're a brave individual. But what we do here is we discuss the week's video game news from around the interwebs in a non-biased, non-blunt way. We don't take handouts, unless it's for ball shavers, which we'll get to that in a hot minute. Unless it's completely unrelated to the products to which we talk about. We go live on Twitch and YouTube every Thursday around 9 p.m. Eastern time. Today, a little bit later, but that's okay. We put the tweet out. That shit happens. People are here still, so we're happy. Brody's got a drink. Big time needs that.
Fuck yeah, I do.
Yeah, and the audio version of our podcast is available on every single podcast platform known to man that I know of. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. Shit, man. We're probably on some radio show in the middle of fucking Wichita, Kansas, or something. We're syndicated. We just don't know it yet. You know what I mean? It'd be like, cool, yeah. What's that movie? Is it Sugar Man, where the guy just shows up in a country? You ever see that movie or no?
I don't think so.
So this guy, basically,
it's not ringing a bell.
This guy basically records music. Okay, musician. Nobody gives a shit about him in his home country. I think he was in America. I think nobody gives a shit about him in his home country at all. Nobody ever listens to his music. He finds out through the internet that, and I forget what country it is. There's a country who absolutely loves him, and he's had no clue because until he's found out through the internet. So he goes there and he's like a fucking superstar.
Huh? Yeah, I remember seeing something about that movie. Now
that's probably us. Probably in some far off distant land. There's like a shrine with us in it, or some 400-foot statue of you and I. Anyways, yeah.
That'd
so
weird.
Oh man, you imagine showing up in this big old statue? I'd be like, bro, take a photo right now. Take a photo of me in the statue.
Take a picture of me with me.
Yeah, take a picture of me with me. Anyways, yeah. So we're available with the audio version of the podcast that goes live real early on Friday mornings on all the different podcast platforms. So follow us there, subscribe to our podcast if you typically digest us through the video tubes instead. And we're part of a greater overarching little project called Spawn Camp, which is a bunch of different creators all working together on a multitude of different topics and different content categories, I guess. Everything from Gundam to PC gaming and general pop culture on WCD and beyond. Then the Gunpla stuff is on Bill Bros, which is a wacky group of dudes, to say the least. And then there's us, which is talking more about just business, the business of gaming, business of games, kind of diving more into the console piece as well. But it's a great place. Go to youtube.com/SpawnCampCo. We actually just hit a little subscriber milestone, so I'm pretty stoked about that. Saw that today. And also, on top of that, we've got a free Discord. Not many things free nowadays. Inflation rampant. Not in Spawn Camp, though. Free Discord community. Available in the show notes below, both the audio and video version of the podcast. And with that, my friend, let's jump into our first story, shall we?
So the first story this week was a hell of a debacle, and it kind of spanned over 4 different days. So essentially, how all this went down. It had been known that Helena Taylor was not going to be the voice actress for Bayonetta as we go into Bayonetta 3, which launches in about a week or so. And most people kind of didn't really think a whole lot of it. I mean, I'm sure there were some diehard Bayonetta fans that were upset about it, but she kind of didn't really say a whole lot about it. And then all of a sudden she did decide she was going to say something about it. And what she said was that essentially Platinum only offered her $4,000 and that was it for her time. And so she said no. Well, a lot of people started to boycott the game, and as we got closer, more facts kind of started to roll out. And on top of that, Jennifer Hale, who is a very well-established voice actress, stepped into the role, which I can't imagine she only charged $4,000 for this role. So then Platinum came out and basically said that, hey, we offered her $4,000 per session over about, I think it was 15 grand total for the project as a entire game, which was supposed to be about 4 sessions worth of, voice acting. And, Helena basically said they were lying and full of shit. And more of this has come out now. Turns out Platinum also said that they did offer her $4,000 just for a cameo in the game because I don't even want to spoil it if you're really there's some like weird spoiler stuff going on right now. So anyway, this has been a big debacle all week. Jennifer Hale has agreed, or she basically said, I'm not going to break any NDAs. I'm just going to kind of roll with it. I'm going to take the hate. And she got a shitload of hate on Twitter. Come to find out, we don't know the whole truth at this point yet, but Helena Taylor seems like there's something a little fishy.
She's fucking lying. She's fucking lying.
She's fucking lying.
I'm gonna say it. She fucking lying.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I don't believe her for a second. I also don't know what she has to gain from lying from it. So
in the hopes
part
of
of
winning over a ton of mob people on Twitter to the point peer pressuring.
But she's not really a voice actress.
I get that. But she wants to fucking clearly be, so she's gonna do. This is a perfect example, dude, of like half the shit going on nowadays.
Part of it, I don't know. Like, part of me believes that there could have been some bad fucking communication because all of this would have to be translated through Platinum as well because they are a Japanese company.
This woman also
there
seems
is some of that aspect.
Fucking dense.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
So the communication could also be there.
She started an absolute shitstorm, and at this point, I think everything has died down, and most people are not, hating on Jennifer Hale or Platinum, but they also don't hate Helena, which is fine. You don't have to hate her, but this is kind of a really weird fucking deal, and watching it happen over like 3 or 4 days was bizarre. There's not a whole lot to even talk about here, but I wanted to at least touch on it because it was kind of a big ordeal for a second. It was
a pretty big ordeal, man. I mean, I think Helena's thing was she wanted to kind of come in and stir shit to get a mob against a company to fucking pay her more while fucking up the sales of a game. I mean, here's the thing. If she wanted to be a voice actor, that's never going to fucking happen now.
Oh, yeah, she completely shut herself.
She just fucked herself out of everything because I couldn't even imagine working for her at this point, working with her at this point. It just sounds like it was just a play of I'm just going to put a mob against people and hope I can get paid more. And they'll peer pressure into it. Because let's be real, there's a lot of companies that probably would have peer pressured.
Yeah.
And be like, yo, yeah, we've just spin up some bullshit PR. Oh, it was like what you were saying was lost during communication. We've decided to hire on for $100,000 to speak 25 lines in a game where no one's really listening. They're just staring at Bayonetta's ass for 3/4 of the game. Let's be real. Yeah. I'm a realist on this.
Fair enough.
On this podcast. And I just sit here and I'm like, that just seems like a giant play to get fucking paid more. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. She's lying, is what it sounds like. I mean, is it confirmed? No. But I'll tell you what, there's a lot of shit there. There's a lot of shit there, and I'll go on a limb and say, I think she's lying. I have no repercussions on saying that, but, whatever.
There was one part where Helena was actually making some videos as well, and one of her videos, she went on a fucking rant and goes, I wish her all the joy in the world. I wish her all the jobs, but she has no right to say she is the voice of Bayonetta, Taylor said. Helena Taylor. I created that voice. She has no right to sign merchandise as Bayonetta.
Jesus Christ.
Like, Jesus. But Helena had came back and said that supposedly Platinum had said that she wanted like 6 figures plus, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Starts with an R. Not royalties, but similar to royalties, right? Like a certain payment for residuals. There it is.
Yeah,
we got there. So anyway, she that's apparently what she wanted. I don't think she got that. I would not, obviously. I would I wouldn't think that Hale necessarily got that much either. I mean, Platinum's a big company, but I don't know if I could see them paying six figures plus residuals, which residuals have been one of the kind of sticking points for voice actors for a while now, and that was something that when they started to or tried to unionize, that was one of the things that they were really trying to get was the residuals. Well,
that's all right because all the residuals would just go to their healthcare plan.
Fair.
So the interesting thing here too is that like at $4,000 a session, here's what I'd like to know for some facts. How many lines are there in the game?
Don't know, but right. I imagine there's a decent amount. He is the main character.
There's 3 or 4 sessions, right?
Yes, at least 3 or 4.
So we're making about 3 to 4K a session. So let's say it's a standard working day, a 9-hour day. Okay, 8 hours of work or whatever, right? And we're making about $3,000. We're pulling $4,000 for the day.
Yeah,
That's not fucking bad.
No, I get where you're going with that, but also like you're talking actors, right? So they're making absorbent amounts anyway.
100%.
It's kind of hard to compare it to like what normal fucking people make in a day.
No, I get that. I just mean like the effort put in here, like.
Yeah, her whole thing is like theater, right? Like that is apparently what she wrote something on there. It was like, oh, let me return to theater, blah, 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 whatever. But
to theater, here's her IMDb. Absolutely, here's her IMDb. 2014 Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. She was Bayonetta. Maybe 20 lines.
Yeah,
maybe if that. Bayonetta 2. Right, she's Bayonetta and Rosa. 2014. Yeah. Super Smash Bros. For Nintendo 3DS. Oh, she's Bayonetta. 2014. 2013, Bayonetta Bloody Fate. 2012, Anarchy Reigns. 2011, Cockpit, The Rule of Engagement, which was a short film. Ways to Live Forever. She was a young mother in that in 2010. In 2009, she's part of Dragon Age Origins. She was Banafstana, Sarah Nancine, wise human female voice. Okay, great. Valkyrie Profile, Covenant of the Plume, 2018. She was Fiona, English version voice, and it was an uncredited position. She was in Hellsing Ultimate, which is a TV miniseries. She was Zoran Blitz. She was in The Golden Compass. Here's a big one, 2007. Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End video game.
Oh, yeah.
Big role. She was Townsfolk. She was the cannibal woman's voice.
Okay.
Be grateful for what the fuck you're getting paid, and fucking, it looks like she's working her way up. I mean, if she did this fucking job and was Bayonetta, she could probably go do other shit, but instead she fucked herself over. Congrats. Have fun.
Yeah, God, and I don't remember what the...
drives me nuts. This is why I hate the fucking... This is why I hate the... Oh! She was Spinner number 2 in the Sweetest Thing film.
Oh, sweet.
Quote, Spinner number 2.
Huh.
This is why I really fucking hate... Not that there's been some great stuff about it, but this is why I really hate when the SAG gets involved in video games. When we bring bullshitty Hollywood bullshit into the realm of video games, and it becomes this nonsensical bullshit where, she probably had her own fucking chair that said Spinner 2 on the Sweetest Thing. And she comes into the studio and she doesn't like how she's making 4K a fucking pop to say some lines in Bayonetta. Which, not gonna lie, okay, the writing in Bayonetta games, not the greatest.
No, it's certainly not known for its writing.
Very simple.
Yes.
The game speaks for itself and some mechanics. Anyways, we're done on that shit. Have fun with no fucking career, Helena. It's great. Good job. I just get sick and tired of that fucking shit. It's fucking stupid.
Oh, I agree.
I agree. Be part of the Sweetest Thing too. Oh, it didn't fucking do good on the first go around. Jesus.
I agree, right? Like if they offered her $4,000 for the entire project, Yeah, that's
be bad.
probably lowballing, right?
But every session.
Considering what everything is coming out, and again, Jennifer Hale is not going to do this for $4,000. She is a very well established voice actress at this point. Like,
yes.
So I have a hard time believing that Platinum did not try to work with her on this. Especially if they turn around and paid Jennifer Hale for it, right? Like, I think she's full of shit. I wholeheartedly agree. I think and I don't know if it's intentional, right? Like, I will give her the benefit of the doubt. Maybe there was some translation shit. Maybe there was,
I think it's
maybe there was her agent. I don't know, right? Like, I don't fucking know the lady. I don't know what's going on. But
I don't know this lady.
She seems to genuinely believe this, and
yeah.
But I also genuinely don't believe her. So
yeah, when you're insane,
here we are.
You could believe a lot of things. Hey, next story. Microsoft is reportedly making an Xbox mobile gaming store with the intention to go toe-to-toe with Apple and Google. The service seems to hang on the Activision Blizzard deal, relying heavily on Activision and King, their mobile division of Activision, which includes such things as Candy Crush and every other game that is...
I don't have any information about that, but I found something related. Do you want to know what Activision?
Fuck off, Google.
I'm a virtual assistant.
Stop!
But still very real. Please keep them respectful. If you're frustrated with something,
Nice.
I'm open to your feedback. To report a problem, you can send feedback.
Okay. We'll go toe-to-toe with Apple and the G word. I got to get rid of that thing out of this office. It's ridiculous. Anyways, King has made stuff like Candy Crush and then 5 other games that are all like Candy Crush. This information was found in Microsoft's response to the pushback from the UK's Competition and Markets Authority regarding the Activision Blizzard deal. It says that the transaction will improve Microsoft's ability to create a next-generation game store, which operates across a range of devices, including mobile, as a result of the addition of Activision Blizzard's content. Building on Activision Blizzard's existing communities of gamers, Xbox will seek to scale the Xbox Store to mobile, attracting gamers to a new Xbox mobile platform, shifting consumers away from the G-Word Play Store and App Store on mobile devices. This will, however, require a major shift in consumer behavior. Microsoft hopes that by offering well-known and popular content, gamers will be more inclined to try something new. Another piece of information that came from this whole situation is that Call of Duty may not be coming to Game Pass immediately if the deal does end up going through due to prior deals that Sony has made with Activision Blizzard. What say you on this?
Okay, so I shoehorned that last piece in just because people were freaking the fuck out of it like it wasn't already common sense, but I kind of thought it was common sense, and I didn't want to make a full topic about it. So here we are. I mean, people were freaking the fuck out. So I have to mention it, but obviously.
It's not how it works.
My take on this is you'll never get it onto an Apple phone because Apple will never allow it, and they control everything on their fucking phones unless you jailbreak it.
Yes.
My other take on it is that Microsoft has tried this essentially in the past, not specifically gaming, and it always fucking sucks, and that's why they don't make phones anymore, and why they don't
make a lot of things.
That's why they don't make a lot of fucking things. My take on this is go for it, but it's not going to fucking work.
Yeah. My take on this is going to be very interesting. This brings me back to the days when they had the Microsoft One applications or universal applications thing that they're going off of, where you could build an application. That application would run on an Xbox, it would run on Windows, it would also run on Windows Phone. And I'm getting a sense of that bullshit here. Here's what I think it's going to be. I think it's just going to be a fucking store where they just load Android games to it, because Windows 11 right now can load fucking Android games to it.
Yep.
And Android applications.
And all it is a way to get around having to pay Google or Apple money.
Yeah, and so
there's certain royalties.
I'm trying to think like what the angle is here, because if the angle is to go against subscription stuff like Google Play or the Apple Arcade subscription, for example, for the Apple App Store, if that's the angle here and you want to roll that into Game Pass, I really just think Xbox users are going to take advantage of that. I don't think it's going to be a funnel for you to get people into the Xbox ecosystem. I mean, Microsoft does not make mobile games. And the ones that they're gathering from Activision Blizzard, yes, there's Diablo Immortals as the outlier out of that.
Oh, no. Well, if you're looking at a bad version of it, yes. Call of Duty Mobile makes a fuckload of money.
Call of Duty Mobile makes a fuck ton of money.
Also, Candy Crush still makes a fuckload of money.
Yes, it does. But I mean, it's not like gaming. Like what the fuck is this? Like I read this thing and it's like gaming. So it's like Call of Duty Mobile, fucking Diablo, Immortals, and I'm like, what else is there? Like,
unless they somehow integrate it with like xCloud in some way, shape, or form. But even then,
the problem with them, they're doing the same fucking shit that they did with the Xbox One. Mm-hmm. They are making this so fucking convoluted, dude, to use, and you have no idea where. Like, you're gonna sign into the whatever the fuck this is called store. Right? Because it's going to have a dumb name, Brody.
Oh, absolutely.
It's going to have a name that makes no sense. It's going to be called X Store or something fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
And you're going to go into it. It's going to be its own separate fucking application. You're going to see Game Pass. You're going to see xCloud in front of you. You're going to see Family Plan fucking, multifamily fucking plan, whatever. You're going to get confused to the tits on this thing. I mean, you are literally just going to sit there and go, a new person's going to go, what the fuck am I looking at? What does this do? How the fuck do I use this? And what the fuck is all of this other stuff? And then they're going to load it with Xbox games. And the only way and then they're going to integrate Game Pass, the app, into this fucking thing, and the Xbox app. And we're going to be in the same fucking spot where they're like, it's the all-in-one gaming and media device. Shut
Nick
up.
said it's going to be called Xmart.
Xmart, like Kmart.
So my take on it is I think this is essentially going to be like the Samsung store on Samsung devices, obviously.
God. Bloatware.
Which is god awful, don't get me wrong. But I don't think this is going to be I don't think it will actually integrate with xCloud. I think that'll still be its own thing. But I think you could probably get to xCloud from this. And I think the idea behind it is essentially just like Samsung did, create the storefront. So now when somebody buys something through the storefront, you get all of the royalties instead of paying it to someone else, except for the Samsung store is literally almost anything that's on Google Play, right? Like
and
it's
themes.
And themes. Yeah. Fucking weird shit. But I don't see this as trying to like overtake anything necessarily. I think it's just a weird.
This seems like a lot of noise.
Trying to get some revenue and through another means and putting their hands in all of the fucking pies, right?
You know what I'd like? I'd like Halo to actually be working in its
That would be
entirety,
nice.
instead of doing this. Keep in mind also, you say they're not going to integrate that. If this company could integrate Microsoft Office into the fucking Xbox, they would. This company does nothing but go, yep, staple that on. Fuck yeah, let's do your saves on OneDrive next. Hey, oh shit, let's get Excel up in this bitch.
That's terrifying. OneDrive is hit or miss at best.
At best. God.
Fuck.
I don't know. I don't think it's gonna do very well. I think this gets canceled.
I can't imagine it does.
But here's the thing,
feel
Brody,
like
it's
they're
just gonna
just
get rolled into the Xbox app. Because what happened to the Game Pass app, Brody? What happened to the Game Pass app?
Yeah, it's all just in the fucking terrible Xbox app.
This is going to get rolled into the terrible Xbox app.
God awful. And what's even more incredible, not even the mobile app, the fucking Windows app is god awful. And it's like, you make this operating system. What are you doing?
Yeah, I know. That's great. You make the operating system. You own the platform that's also made an application on your operating system.
It's all sorts of depressing.
Yeah, this has got Zune written all over it, dude.
Yeah. Fucking
for
Zune.
sure.
So we got a release date and price for the DualSense Edge controller, and I'd like to say that I was fucking right. So first off, the release date is January 26th. The price is $200 motherfucking Roonies.
Get the fuck out of here.
$199.99. Replaceable stick modules will be available upon release for the controller, and those will cost $19.99. awful.
I mean, I guess, but how many? Okay, you talk about how many we get to in there. Let's talk about that.
Yeah. So pre-orders will begin October 25th. In the box, when you order this $200 controller, you get the wireless controller. You also get the USB braided cable, 2 standard caps, 2 high dome caps, 2 low dome caps, 2 half dome back buttons, 2 lever back buttons, a connector housing, and a carrying case.
Jesus, the connector housing is a little bit of a stretch.
Yeah, it seems like it's
same with a USB braided cable. A little bit of a stretch
common.
On that one.
Some people they kind of get off on that shit, man. They see braided cable, they're like, oh,
they're not my friends.
Yeah, I bet there's some friends in the Discord that really like some braided cable. I bet it's Nick. Sure. It's probably Nick.
It's probably Nick.
It's definitely Nick.
So I would have liked to have seen them.
He even said I like braided cables as I was saying that. It is me. Oh shit!
I think it would have been nice to put an extra set of the fucking stick modules in for $200. I mean, that's, maybe throw me a fucking bone here and give me a backup. Because here's the thing too, right? They talk about all this great stuff, the carrying case, all this shit. This shit's gonna come in the same box a PS5 came, which was made out of like fucking pressed toilet paper.
Yeah.
Probably. Like the unboxing experience of the PS5, one of the most underwhelming things. I think I've had a better experience unboxing chicken tenders before. Had more of emotion unboxing it. I mean, there's no experience behind that. So we'll see at $200. But good job on being
Xbox
right.
unboxing was actually really cool. That was actually awesome.
Yes.
PlayStation
handle and everything.
Presentation was rough.
Yeah. No, $199. That's a lot of money.
And
the Xbox Elites.
The Elite controllers, I believe, were like $180. I want to say,
but it was at $200 if you want like a custom Color Lab one.
I haven't even looked at that because that's new. That's something they just started doing for the Elite controllers.
Interesting.
I don't know. I mean, replaceable stick modules, if they come in like a 2-pack for $19.99, that's not fucking bad. I've replaced a lot of Joy-Con joysticks, and those fuckers, you can get some really fucking cheap ones for like $13, and they work, but they have all the same problems that the original ones have. So I mean, whatever, right? Like I think this is fine. I think it's a good thing to have that, but I also wish they would just stop using this style joystick and go to something different. There's other options out there that
it'll
don't
never
drift.
Change now because now they can make $20 off of it.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Now we're fucked.
I mean, at this point, I wish Nintendo would do some shit like this, right? Because I'm sick of replacing. At this point, I have like 3 of them that are drifting, and I just don't care anymore.
Well, Nintendo will come out with one that's made of cardboard before they fucking
Their Joy-Cons are not fun to work on either. They're a nightmare.
Terribly compact with ribbon cable everywhere.
Oh, it's an absolute disaster.
Yeah. It's a little fucking pricey. It's pretty nuts. I am probably not going to pick one up. I'm going to see what people do.
I'll wait. I may get one eventually, but right now I have 2 perfectly fine DualSense controllers. I actually bought 2 white ones, and I wish I would have waited because then they started coming out with cool colors and shit. But yeah, no, I don't have any need for this. I have an Elite controller for the Xbox, but that's because I play a lot of Rocket League and I use the paddles for Rocket League. So that's literally the only thing I use it for.
All right, moving on. Overwatch 2 reached 25 million players in the first 10 days. I'm one of them. I experienced crippling depression, along with Eric, a longtime listener of the show. Ask me anything. It is my review so far, quick, dirty recommendation. If you've never played Overwatch, go ahead and try it. If you really like Overwatch, brace yourself for Overwatch 2.
Still Overwatch.
Yeah, it's Overwatch, but there's like shit missing.
It plays a little differently, right?
It plays
like,
bad. Plays bad.
I don't. Now. I'm not a fan. The 5v5 at first I thought was kind of interesting, and now as the meta starts to evolve, I don't fucking like it.
Well,
I kind of
here's
want.
my great conundrum on it. They have the 5v5. They have like roll select, right? They've buffed the tanks up, and then when you go to open roll, everyone's just tanks.
Yeah, which is the same problem they had in Overwatch 1 too. You'd get 6 tanks or like 5 tanks and a healer randomly or something, right?
Yes.
Or at least, 4 tanks, a bastion, and a healer.
Yes.
It was a nightmare.
Yes.
No, I've played a little bit of it. I haven't played a ton. I'm having a hard time getting into it, which I've always kind of had a hard time getting into Overwatch. It's a very abusive relationship, and I need help. Send help, please.
So angry.
Oh, it's a very aggravating game, and this one, I mean, the quote unquote second one is same thing. Still aggravating.
Yeah, it's 25 million players. I think players mean they signed in.
Oh yeah,
Looked at the store and went, "What the fuck?" and left.
And it's a free to play game. Like it's hitting 25 million. It's still impressive, right? Don't get me wrong, but it is not. It's a free to play game. Anybody can download it. Anybody can play it, and so this isn't like, hey, we sold 25 million copies. No, you had 25 people that were like, I don't have anything else to play. I'll download it and play it. And they could have played a match, or they could still be playing to this day. We don't know. But that's the joy of free to play, right?
Yes. Good God.
Comcast has pulled the trigger on ending G4TV. There's not a whole lot here on what's going on. I don't think anybody was really all that surprised by this, but this shutdown does affect a few dozen employees, which Comcast has.
A few dozen? Did you know how many employees they had? Brody, they had 250 fucking people
for G4TV?
For G4TV, brah.
Shit, the article I read literally said...
We'll talk about it in a second. Yeah, I'll let you in on some fucking crazy shit, brah. You read your paragraph.
Well, all it was just that Comcast said they would assist with outplacement and for some offer some internal opportunities. Yeah, the article I read was like few dozen. I didn't realize it was 200 people on G4TV, which would have served better as just a YouTube channel coming back in this day and age, because I don't understand how they thought this was going to work.
I mean,
it's a very different thing now than when G4TV was in its prime.
Maybe the so first of all, there was over 200 people working on this, which I don't know what the fuck was going on. I mean, they must have had a guy who just stapled things. Maybe there was a fluffer. I have no idea what they had going on here. Why you would need that many people? That's kind of crazy. So it's just I threw the fluffer thing in there. Yeah, it kind of blew my mind when they had that. Maybe Comcast gonna take a bunch of those people, and maybe they're like already Comcast people that worked on other shows, and now they're gonna go to another show. Here's the problem. Nostalgia is a son of a bitch, and everybody sits there and looks back at the glory days of stuff, and then they don't realize that worked in a time and only that time. It doesn't translate well now. I mean, if anybody had actually watched this shit, it literally was just like, it was just fucking nonsensical, crazy shit. I mean, it was like just every other 5 words was just people screaming about something, someone humping someone's fucking leg, some sexual innuendo to something. Adam Sussler coming on once in a while when he's not at a fucking appointment on Medicare to talk about a fucking game. And then you had Kasim G on, which I don't know why the fuck Kasim G was on there, just doing awkward, weird shit, which Kasim G used to do like 10 years ago when he was popular to it. And then you had, hired some interesting people towards the end of your content. It seemed like every other video had some sort of ex-porn star in it just to bump up the vibes. And then you also had cross-competing political bullshit on the entire channel, which nobody wants to fucking hear. They want to hear about games. And that's why you die. And they deserve to die. I mean, that's it. That's how it goes. Like, I mean, what, like 9 months ago, 10 months ago, maybe even a year ago, I don't even know. You know, the Indiana Black was on G4TV, and she was a member of the cast. I don't think she had done it for quite some time now, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I've really stopped watching G4 for the last, good God, 8 months, 7, 8 months easily, of like even just not even dipping in to see some stuff. But, you know, I watched that shit, and Indiana Black just basically bombasted the entire team or entire audience for saying, yeah, we don't like this person on stream. And most of the comments weren't like sexist or anything. It was just like, yeah, I'm just not interested in this person. And she took offense to that and blamed a bunch of other shit onto it, as we could imagine today's society, and took heat for it big time, because people are like, well, fuck you. Like, I don't understand this concept. And I listened to Sacred Symbols on this a couple of weeks ago, when there was actually a first round of layoffs before this was shut down.
Yep.
And I listened to him talk, and Dustin on Sacred Symbols had a good point. He's like, what happened to treating your audience with respect?
Right.
Like, for us, I would never speak ill of our audience. If our audience has an opinion, we'll talk about it. If the opinion is clearly just hate, we'll sit there and go, hey, that's just dumb. Like, that's hate. Like, that's what is stupid. You know, it's a stupid thing to say. But we're certainly not. If someone said, I don't like when, you know, Brody and Jeff talk about, you know, the Bayonetta piece for so long or whatever. That's your opinion. I'm not going to come back and be like, you know, fuck you. You just don't like that because I'm Canadian. I mean, I'm just not going to come up with some bullshit like that. Yeah. Because that's just inherently bullshit. So, this is what fucking happens. And like, most of their shit too was like, it seemed like no one actually played fucking games.
No.
Like, when they're talking about it, it just seemed like people were either a streetwear fashion fucking person, someone else, you know, was on Twitch at one point in time, another person constantly makes jokes about their sexuality, and then they're like, oh, right, let's get back to Demon Souls. I mean, I just sat there and was like, what the fuck is this fucking trash? And then you have Comcast behind it. Like, you could have probably 4 or 5 people run that fucking YouTube channel.
Oh, absolutely. Easily.
I mean, the budget was insane. They bought a whole fucking studio and all this shit. Like, oh, it's going to be so... Like, how do you... It just goes to show you how much dumb fucking money is out there. Like, from a big company, from Comcast.
Well, and I don't understand who thought this would have worked, right? Like, Nick said it in the comments too, but I also was thinking, like, this whole thing is, when G4TV was in its prime, there wasn't other places to really get this information, right? And so it actually functioned well. But, you know, now you can go to Reddit, you can go to Twitter, you can go all over the fucking place. Go to YouTube and get all of the gaming news, right? Or you can listen to this podcast every Thursday live at 9 o'clock and Friday at 5 a.m. Hey, hey, plug. Or there, you know, there's a million fucking podcasts out there. There's a million different ways you can get this content now without having to, you know, watch G4TV and hope whatever you're looking for is there. Right? If you are listening to a gaming podcast one week and you don't like the content, you can go listen to a different gaming podcast and get the same news. It's just, I don't understand how any of this was going to work, or why anyone at Comcast greenlighted this and thought it was going to bring them in any sort of money whatsoever. So to see this crash, especially when they ramped it up so quickly, they went from, 0 to 200 fucking people working for them in a very, very short period of time. I don't really know what they expected. It's just, it's very bizarre and very... it was very short-lived. Like, it just started back up this year, didn't it? Or maybe last year, I guess.
I believe. They tried to be everything in one go, in one shot, right? And, like, it's just, like, here's some shit they did, right? So, most of their videos have an average of, like, 7,000 views on average.
It relaunched November 16th of 2021. There you go.
Holy shit. Okay, so it didn't even make it a year. And they have 133,000 subscribers. That's it. 133,000 subscribers. 200 and something fucking people working there. There's shit like, there's some React stuff. There's Trailer Thursdays with the feedback. There's Name Your Price. That was just weird shit because it was bringing on any Twitch person possible. You could see it was a last ditch effort for them to come on and, you know, fucking I mean, they had what's that chick's name? Amaranth? Can never say her name right. Yeah, on that shit. They had a ton of just different thing. Alana Pierce showed up, one of the last videos, which this is my theory. Alana Pierce literally goes on things and then they fucking die. And I don't think it's her fault. I think she's a great human being. There's something here. There's a curse of some kind, for sure. But it's crazy. It's silly bullshit. Yeah, Nick is saying on here some of the personalities were asking for $20,000 and up for a day's work, and they paid it.
What?
Comcast, man. Big money. I mean, do you know how cheap this still probably was for Comcast run comparative to like a fucking sitcom or something like that on NBC?
Yeah,
like,
fair enough.
An
But
episode
you know what
on
else?
NBC is like, you know, a couple mil.
What's
nowadays.
fucking crazy about this though is like Comcast throws 20 grand at this, but then their actual customers, they nickel and dime over fucking just asinine shit.
My fucking internet sucks.
Yeah. Like I have a buddy who just moved into a new house, thought he had unlimited data. He does not. Used it all up in a day just downloading all of his shit again. And he called them and they're like, "Oh, you aren't using our modem. So you have to pay this fee, or you can rent ours for this fee." It was like $30 to if you didn't want to use their modem and router, router, and then it was $25 to rent it. And you're like, okay, why? Like, fucking why? And it's the only thing that it is offered in the area too. Like, they wouldn't have to fucking screw over their customers if they didn't pay people 20 grand for a day's work. Like, that's insane.
It's
stupid.
Crazy. I mean, Nick's absolutely right. I'm reading the article right now of failure to acclimate to the YouTube/Twitch era despite desperation to fit in. It's perfectly thing. Former employees tell me some major content creators charge day rates of $25,000 to $30,000. Not sustainable for the channel.
I mean, they can pay us 10 grand to do this, you know, like once a week. That'd be fine.
Yeah, I think it's fucking crazy. Like, content creators are also out of their fucking minds sometimes. Like, you know, not to sound like an asshole, but I mean, like,
no, you're right. You're right.
I don't know. I work in the marketing piece. I've worked with influencers before, and there's not fucking many out there that are worth that much of money, like, at all.
No. And
they're clingy, so it's like people think that, you know, and the fucking influencer knows this, but like, and that's not their fault, right? It's the place that's agreeing to pay them, but it's like, it's you sit there and you're like, yeah, I can come over, and some of my audience will come over. Only some of your audience is going to come over, and then most of that audience is going to go right back after you leave. They're not going to stick around,
right?
Because you're not on the fucking show. Like, they will, like, these people, they will sit for hours watching them play video games. They're not going to go back on the fucking show when they're not on there. They're going to stay watching them play hours of fucking video games because that's what they do.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It seems like it's a dumb business sense. I think the cast is really, really dumb in a lot of this stuff. I thought it was really silly how it was laid out. I think it was pretty silly, like having like there's WWE wrestlers on there. There was fucking porn stars on there. There was Twitch cameos and shit. I mean, it just made no fucking sense. I just sat there and was like, what the fuck is this? So, and I actually, what's crazy, Brody, is I found my old iTunes account. Okay. And on my old iTunes account, I found an old episode of X-Play.
Oh, really?
On my iTunes account. And I watched it to see like the differences in it. totally different fucking vibe to the show.
Oh, I bet.
Totally different vibe to the show. And there was shit when I was watching on the iTunes one where I'm like, there's just no way they could do this today. Like some of the shit going on. So I don't know, whatever. Deserves to die. Big corporate-y bullshit. Gave too many people too much money. I had no idea what they're doing with it. And that's it. And I mean, like, Adam Sessler has been to, he's been everywhere. Was he on IGN at one point? No. Yes? He was on Destructoid.
I'm not sure.
He's on this shit. It's crazy. Like, just where the man's been around. Anyways, moving on. Xbox Game Pass movement. So we've got some movement in the realms of Game Pass, and we'll run through those games. So coming soon, available now. A Plague Tale Requiem, Cloud PC and the consoles. Amnesia Collection, Cloud PC and consoles. Amnesia Rebirth, Cloud PC and consoles. Phantom Abyss comes to Cloud PC and consoles. Soma comes to Cloud PC and consoles as well. On October 21st, you're going to get Persona 5 Royal on Cloud PC and consoles. Brody, are you going to play that again?
No, I don't have time for that.
You done with that? You done with that? Okay.
I love the game, but I don't have time to play through it again.
October 27th, we got Frog Detective. The entire mystery comes to PC. Gunfire Reborn comes to Cloud PC and console. Signalist comes to Cloud PC and console. And leaving October 31st, Alan Wake, American Nightmare, Backbone, Bassmaster Fishing 2022, Non-Guns, Doppelganger Edition, Project Wingman, Second Extension, Sniper Elite 4, and The Forgotten City. So here's my question to you, Brody. Do you think, I've been thinking about this especially with the latest rollout of PS Now, or I guess it's just PlayStation Plus. By the way, I also signed up for PlayStation Stars today on the app, and I have, other than saying yes, I'll sign up, and then receiving a T-Rex demo model from the original PlayStation. Looking at it, I went, great. This is invaluable. This is nothing. Cool. This is horrendous. Do you think that? Call me crazy, but when you say a game's coming out on October 21st, and then you don't release when it's leaving as well. I think that hurts them. I mean, if I was Microsoft, I'd say coming, November 1st, all of these games, and they will be available for 5 months, and then they will leave the vault essentially, because this is a vault. This is like the old Disney vault kind of style shit. Because if you tell there's an end date and someone wants to go play that shit, they're going to go sign back up for that shit.
I don't think it hurts them. I mean, most of these games stay on there for 6 months at a time pretty easily.
Sure.
So, and I think at a certain point you probably hit the like, oh yeah, it's like a limited time type of thing, I guess.
Even
I don't know.
I
don't
on it, like saying like leaving this date. Even just say the date it's going to leave after you announce when it's coming on.
I don't think it necessarily hurts them. I also don't know if it necessarily helps them, right?
Yeah, I don't think it's a majorative. I think it just might help.
Maybe a little bit, right? Yeah, maybe there is that situation where somebody signs up because they know it's going to leave on this date. But I feel like anybody who's actually following these dates is probably in it a little bit more than the average person, because how many people are actually reading these articles, right? Like Xbox puts this out, and I'm pretty sure the only people that read it are us and, other places that do podcasts or do, IGN, whatever. But I don't know. I don't think it would necessarily help a ton of people. I know PlayStation does it with theirs, but I don't know. And even PlayStation is kind of hit or miss whether they do it. Some games they will announce when it will be leaving, and other games they don't. And I can't fully figure out the rhyme or reason for any of it. It's weird. But yeah,
it's a whatever lineup too on this. I don't think it's anything crazy.
I think Plague Tale is a pretty good one. A lot of people were pretty excited about that because the first one was actually pretty good. It just was kind of clunky and all that. I think there's some fans of the Amnesia out there. I've never met one, but I've heard or I've seen people
Fucking
kind
Nick
of clamor
will not
about
shut up about Scorn. We
it.
get
Of course
it.
he won't. He didn't even really like the game that much. I don't know.
He says I like it.
He kind of likes
He's
it.
talked about Scorn. He's talked about the Scorn controller. First of all, the Scorn controller, I haven't seen it. I imagine it looks like a fucking rippled rectum, just judging by the game. Like you're just holding on to an asshole.
Yeah,
and the controller's coming out of it.
The Persona 5 coming to this is fucking huge because Persona has not been on Xbox before, so this is a massive thing, and for it to come day 1 to Game Pass, I think that's huge, and I think it's a well-known enough game.
That is a disgusting controller.
Yeah, it is. It's nasty. It's very nasty.
That's fucking gross.
Of course, Nick also likes Amnesia. So, there's that. Did we mention Nick's a part of Spawn Camp? It's his own podcast.
Can you imagine we work with Nick? Oh my god.
Oh shit.
God.
Do you want to do the small news here? We can do the small news here. Fine.
Yeah.
We got 2 confirmations on some upcoming games. These are just real quick, not a whole lot of information here. So Insomniac Games has confirmed that Marvel's Spider-Man 2 is still slated for a 2023 release date, and the Callisto Protocol is still set to ship on December 2nd, and it will feature a 60 FPS performance mode upon release.
Nice. Hey, speaking of short stories, let's talk about the short and curlies.
Yeah.
Can I plug or no?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, is that a solid enough segue?
No, go for it.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, it's never too early to play holiday music, but fuck it, we won't. And it's never too early to start thinking about gifts, and don't worry, we'll procrastinate. But whether it's for a friend or the friends in your pants, you can make this a season to be jolly with Manscaped. Do your little drummer boy a favor. Use that Lawnmower 4.0, baby. To avoid another silent night in the bedroom. Then add in Manscaped's top-of-the-line shower products to have the people thinking, all I want for Christmas is your junk. Santa cares about a sack. And so should you, motherfucker. Look nice when you get naughty by going to manscaped.com and use code DIGGITY, D-I-G-G-I-T-Y, for free shipping and 20% off. That's manscaped.com. Code word DIGGITY. And you too can save 20% off, have some happy balls, and then balls can slide down that chimney that night.
Huh.
Maybe one day we'll be sponsored by Baldo.
Was that all actually in the...
Together. No, I kind of on the fly threw some more stuff in there, but yeah. It's pretty solid, right? I mean, it's not bad.
Pretty good.
I think it'd be all right. We could totally put Baldo after this, but we won't. We don't have them yet.
Sponsor us.
Sponsor us, Baldo.
God, that would be a weird ad read, especially in the middle of a video game podcast.
Oh, God, my wife would be like, what is this? I'd be like, oh, it's one of those things that you put. I have to lie to her because I'm never going to use that, and that's just weird. I'd be like, hey, it's you put loose leaf tea in it, and you put it in a mug.
And then you come downstairs, and she's fucking putting tea in it.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Anyways, manscaped.com. Thank you, Manscaped, for sponsoring the show. We appreciate it. Yeah, go for it. Nick, you're more than welcome to try to get Baldo's sponsorship for your show. We probably will not. When we respond to the emails to the sponsors, we'll just kind of say, hey, I don't think it. I don't think we're the audience.
I know a guy. Don't worry.
Yeah, I don't think we're the audience, but I got a perfect show for you.
He said he's going to reach out for the entire Spawn Camp. No, that's all right. I appreciate it, but you don't have to. It's cool.
Sponsored by Baldo.
We have one little piece here at the end, too, before we get into what we've been playing this week. So The Sims 4 is now free to play, and The Sims 5 is in development under codename Project Renee.
Big missed opportunity here. Should have been Project Rosebud J. Because that was the code word to get infinite money in Sims.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Something that is astounding to me is how The Sims was not free to play. It took
Especially as
this long.
much like DLC as they have, it
Perfect
is crazy.
example for a free to play game.
Oh,
Perfect
absolutely.
setup. Perfect setup. Nick says, "Don't be humble."
He says, "Don't be humble. I got you," and then says, "Ball penetration."
Oh shit! All right, what have you been playing so we can wrap this shit up?
Oh, I have been playing not much of anything. I played a little bit of Fire Emblem Path of Radiance on the Steam Deck, and that's about it.
God, you're so
I mean,
depressed.
on the original GameCube.
On the original GameCube?
No.
Oh,
Played it on the
okay.
fucking Steam Deck. I
Oh,
emulated it.
okay, I
Shit.
got you. You emulate. Okay, no, you're not emulating. You play on the Steam Deck with the Steam Deck turned off and the reflection coming from your television onto your Steam
Yes.
Deck, and that's how you played it.
Uh-huh.
Okay, for me, I've wanted to kill myself playing Overwatch 2. Been doing that.
Nice.
Yes, been great. Played some NHL 22. Been playing that. Haven't got 23 because it's the same fucking game. I've played a little bit of Madden, and then
Also the same fucking game.
yes, didn't get the new one for that either. God, what else? Oh God, me and Eric played Uno on
Oh,
the
yeah?
PlayStation. I forgot to mention this the other week. Actually, I should probably pull this in. So whilst the Overwatch servers were not working, and I was number 69,669 out of, that exact amount of players. It's probably last in line. We decided to play. We're like, what the fuck can we do? And we said, well, this is not working, so let's go figure out something else. And we stumbled upon Uno, and we played Uno. And let me just tell you, this Uno game is made by Ubisoft. Okay,
Yes.
there are DLC packs for fucking Uno. For the Division,
The Division?
for Valhalla,
What? Oh, that's right, because it's
Themed
Ubisoft,
decks,
right?
themed
Yeah.
decks, and
I
themed
forgot.
like boards and shit like that. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it is pretty interesting. We were getting our fucking baldos slammed in big time on that one. We were just getting destroyed out there. But we had some fun with that. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been playing. That's about it, my man. Anything else?
All
Any other
right.
news, or should we wrap her up?
I think that is it. Uh-huh.
Sweet. All right, guys. Well, thank you for listening to the podcast. If you enjoy this podcast, leave us a thumbs up or subscribe to us on YouTube. And if you listen to the audio version, consider leaving us a review. It helps us a ton get traction on the different podcast networks, and it helps us out a ton for distribution. Like we said at the beginning of the show, we go live every Thursday evening, 9 p.m. Eastern, the King Time Zone, on Twitch and YouTube. And then the audio version of the podcast goes live early Friday mornings. And if you'd like to join a great community of people online talking about everything from video games to F1 to what the fuck they ate, consider joining our free Discord. Link is in the show notes below, both on the podcast and on the video. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Diggity Podcast.